All right, greetings, everybody. It is Dynasty Mirror Search for a Guru. Thank you so much for joining us. As we always do, before we get started, we just want to thank you all for the support. It really means a lot. Thank you all for supporting Search for a Guru. We're at 80,000 subscribers and climbing. So I have a special giveaway for when we get to the 100,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers. I have a special giveaway. So I will keep you guys posted on that. But before we jump into the topic, guys, make sure you go to dynastymirror.com. Make sure you go to dynastymirror.com. Me and Fitzgerald Stevens, we are twins today. We both got on our Africa is My Therapy t-shirts. So, make sure you go to dynastymirror.com and grab one. And also, while you're there, grab a book. So I've written several, so please support and buy one, and then join our email list. Again, join our email list as well. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the content. We really appreciate your guys' support. So as you come to the chat room and you're viewing this, please like it and please share it, especially this show that we're doing. So we're not going to discuss Karatbars today. So what happened? I received a couple messages because if you guys don't know, unfortunately, we lost a brother, Chadwick Boseman, over the weekend to colon cancer. So I received a couple messages from people saying, "Hey, Dennis, can you do a show on colon cancer?" And I said to myself, "Okay, I'll try to find someone who will be interested in coming on, either a doctor or a colon cancer survivor." So I actually know a colon cancer survivor, and he's on with us today, Brother Fitzgerald Stevens. And Fitzgerald, is it okay if I give the background as far as the day?
Yeah, we're already committed. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so this was 2016 or 15, Fitzgerald?
What about 2016?
Right, so 2016, I went to pick up my son, Massa, from his school. He was going to Sheltering Arms in Atlanta. Over by the CNN Center, not too far from there, not too far from the Georgia Aquarium. And I received the phone call from Fitzgerald. So I answered it. We were talking, we were discussing Karatbars. Hey, Dynasty, man, Karatbars, you got your team, you already got a package, let's do something. This is when I had a good job. And I was like, I'm all right, I'm fine. So we were talking and he brought up that he got diagnosed with colon cancer. And I was just, I was floored. And Fitzgerald, I'm gonna go a little bit deeper if it's okay.
Yeah, man. Hopefully help somebody.
Fitzgerald shedded a tear. I ain't gonna say he was crying, but he was shedding some tears over the phone, and I started to shed a tear. And he was just going on how life, how short life can be, and how taking advantage of the day and following your dreams, and how at the time he was 51 years old and, he's been in corporate America. He's 51. And how, it's just it woke me up on how, we're not promised the next day and we go to work working for corporate companies, these corporations every day, putting our dreams and our ambitions on hold so that we can build up these corporations. And then, boom, you get hit with news like this. And at Fitzgerald's age of 51, at that time, I was like 34, 35. It's kind of like, it gave me a wake-up call as far as, life is too short. Why am I not out going after my dreams? Instead, I'm working for corporate America. But Mr. Stevens is a survivor, so I'm gonna let Brother Fitzgerald Stevens take over the show and kind of give his testimony on how he was able to overcome colon cancer and his story, how he got the news, how it affected his life. Go ahead, Fitzgerald.
Well, Prince Amir, thank you. I'm literally having to grab a hold of my right hand and stop it from shaking. That's still how much I very much hate discussing this. Well, why are you discussing it? It's simple. I was talking to Mr. Amir, gave me a call this morning, said, Fitzgerald, I'd like you to talk about it. I said, no, Prince, I don't want to do that. I'm not comfortable like that because I don't like bringing up memories about it. I don't even like to use the word about it. I don't like to get involved even thinking about it. But the only thing I've been thinking about is lately when I heard what happened to Mr. Bozeman, the fact that he had passed away from the colon cancer. He got diagnosed 4 years ago. Guess what? I got diagnosed 4 years ago. It took him away from here, and if I didn't tell anybody I had been dealing with that, they would never know, because there's nothing physically that would indicate that I have anything like that. I called spoke to another dear friend of mine, Mr. Michael Delco. I said, Michael, Dynas wants me to do a show, man. What do you think? He said, man, I can't answer that. I'm not in your shoes. I said, Michael, I just, a man of faith, and I believe so much important to speaking the words. And I said, man, I don't want anybody, I said, I don't want anybody releasing anything over me. You and I are trained in the world of the spirit. We know that, words have power, man. I said, I take a lot of negative reviews when I come on I take some negative reviews when I come on with speaking people about building wealth. And I get some very, very, some callous reviews. I said, man, last thing I want is someone to, come out of their mouth with something crazy and minister a whole bunch of fear in me. So I don't want to do that, because I don't want to, take the criticism far like that, because literally it's something I'm having to manage every day myself. Just don't talk about it. That I do talk about it in codes, in a way where you guys say, hey, you could get the diagnosis, and one diagnosis could change your lives. But a few of you've heard me talk about that. That's what I'm talking about. That's the diagnosis I have. That's why you hear me talking about pushing forward to get your dreams and to get your freedom, and where you can live your life on your terms as fast as you can. So I said no to both Prince Dynas Amir, and I said no to both Mr. Michael Delco. However, I went out. I had a taste for some coffee, and this morning just wanted a cup of coffee. Went down to McDonald's, just sit out there on the bench, and I happened to meet a young 88-year-old Jewish gentleman, Mr. Joseph, and we was out there eating egg McMuffins, and just hitting up a conversation, and I said, Mr. Joseph, I have my business is gold. I run an international gold business around the world by way of my cell phone. And I said, let me ask you something. I have a friend that he wants me to talk about colon cancer. He said, oh yeah, that young man passed away from that. I said, yeah, that's the same thing I was dealing with. And I said, what do you think? And he said, Fitzgerald, you have nothing to be ashamed of, but this is what turned it around. He said, you can help someone. You could possibly help someone. And after he said those words with me, it's almost like it was God ordained. And when he said those words, I thanked him. Never saw him before. Hopefully I'll see him again. He gave me his number, and he said, you can help someone. And I called up Prince Amir. I said, that's what we do, man. That's what Fitzgerald and Dynas is about. We want to try to help people. So if it can be a help to someone, maybe my life can be a benefit to someone. How did I find it out? Simple. I was my wife and I were trying to have children, and I didn't have a lot of insurance, any insurance for years. I was bouncing from job to job to job. Not the easiest career path in the world. So I said, okay, now that I have insurance, let me go see a urologist. Let me go exactly find out what's going on. Well, at least if they say yay or nay, at least I will have the opportunity to know that I tried. Okay. So I go see a urologist in Buffalo when I was living up there, and he starts doing all the tests and said, I'm going to just order CT scans just to see what's going on. Okay. And he did that. Well, I believe it was an ultrasound, like the gel and put the wand in there. And so I was there that Monday, and he said, okay, we'll have the results for you Friday, along with the blood work and everything else. I said, great. So he gives me a call. I get a call on Wednesday. They say, hey, we need you to come in right away. I said, no, I'll just come in Friday, because I didn't want to pay a secondary copay, Prince Amir. So I knew if I showed up Wednesday, I had to pay a copay. Then if I showed up Friday, I'd pay a copay. and said, "No, we want you. We want you in here now. You need to get in here now." So I called it in his voice. I said, "Okay, well, everything should be cool. Like, I'm fine." And so, you have this self-talk with yourself. So I go in there Wednesday, and the doctor personally met me. We sat down, and he goes straight to business. Gentleman's like built like John Thompson. The basketball coach just passed away, Prince Amir. And Dr. Stevenson is his name. Mine is Stevens. His name is Dr. Stevenson. Huge frame of man, jovial man, but right to the point. So Fitzgerald, we're seeing something on the ultrasound I've never seen before in my 30 years of practice. Never seen this. Well, he said, so, well, what are you seeing? I said, well, there's like this black spot in your small intestine. And also, by the way, you got a couple of black spots on your liver too. So wait a minute, doctor, I don't have a lifestyle to support this. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I'm not doing any of those. Not around any type of crazy chemicals. That's just not me. I have no lifestyle to support what you're saying. He said, nevertheless, what we want you to do is go see an oncologist. Well, I knew that term set something off in me simply because when I was 26 years old, I had a blood disease called aplastic anemia that shuts the bone marrow down. So I had to get a full bone marrow transplant. And so I knew certain terms. Now, thank God my youngest brother was able to.
Take your time.
So I had to get a bone marrow transplant. So I knew these terms. And so when I went to oncologist, I knew oncology, cancer, so oncologist, cancer. Likewise, she looked at that. She looked at the chart. They started referring me to an oncologist also. And so we said, yeah, well, this is what we call choleric cancer. Now it's small now, not about the size of a dime, not anything really, And I said, I feel great, I don't have any problems and things, and let me back up. So I had to go tell my wife, and we had made a promise that we would always tell each other things. Regardless of how tough the stuff was on the table, and had I would have had to do it again, probably wouldn't have told her, because it caused so much fear within her, and I saw she was worried about her husband. I'm worried about my life. I should have just called Dynas first, and I should have just called like my brothers and stuff, and kept an eye. You guys can say, well, that's selfish stuff, and it's my marriage, not yours. It's my decision to make. So I had to do it again. I wouldn't, because it put her into a way that I haven't seen her come out of yet. So we finished talking. When I say we, going back to the doctors, and he said, Fitzgerald, he said, well, it's sitting like dormant now. It's not doing anything. I said, good. He said, but it could. And so we need to start, you probably want to see chemotherapy. I said, nah, dude, I'm not taking chemotherapy. Now, why was I so much adamant against that? I knew what it did, what it does to you. I knew the toll that it played on both my body and my mind back when I had the bone marrow transplant. I went through 3 days of intense chemotherapy, and just a hellified type torture thing. Maybe that contributed to me not fathering children this day. The chemotherapy took a big toll. For example, the hair on my head is very, very straight. Some of you can see it, some of you can't. My hair used to be coarse like Prince Dynas Amir. When I had the chemotherapy, it changed the whole hair composition of my entire body. Made it very, very fine like and almost silk like, far as what it does. I mean, some people would call that foolishness good hair. It's just an oxymoron. It's not true, but it changed everything. And to that day, I still deal with it. My younger brothers, they have hair like Prince Dynas Amir, and real coarse and saying about, but it changed everything. So it had an effect upon my body that's lasting to this day. So I said, well, we knew the ramification that it could possibly have effect on if you want to have children later on in my life. I mean, I was 24, and it was really a big deal to me. And so it's fast forwarded back with the colon cancer. The guy said, okay, the oncologist said, okay, Fitzgerald, we can give you this shot called standastatin. And I said, well, tell me about it. So I'm not doing chemotherapy. He said, well, it may help and stop the prevention of it, because when the spots was on the liver, that technically put it at like stage 2, stage 3. When it leaves that area, so it went to an organ, that put it over in a different stage. And like there, I'm like, okay. So I'm trying to keep calm, and I'm my wife there. I'm trying to keep calm for her, trying to keep calm for the ladies. I'm scared. I'm very, very scared. So I was doing sales then, and all of a sudden my confidence just went away. My confidence just went when it was gone, because why? I wasn't concerned about selling anything. I was concerned about living. I had just started my carrot bars business, and so I was just concerned about the business of living. So we get to talking, and the guy said, hey, the standastatin, it could help, but it can't help. Ladies and gentlemen, that shot with my insurance was $1,369.29 a month with my insurance. Okay. And so I told him, you mean to tell me this amount of money for something that maybe? And I said, no, I don't want to do that. Let's look at what we're doing right. Let's look at other alternatives. Okay. And so I did. I definitely wasn't going to do the chemotherapy. Well, if you know anything about the career cancer and things, that was the same. You guys remember the late great ESPN sports writer Stuart Scott?
Yeah.
That's what took him out. Okay. That's what took him out. The same thing I was dealing with. And so I started going to the doctors, and I would do my regular checkups, and I was fine. I mean, nothing was there, but the biggest thing was the fear in my head. So I did start changing a lot of things. I did start, with my diet, exercise more, getting more fiber in my body. I guess I say that to say this: colon cancer is perhaps one, if not the easiest one to prevent, but you got to catch it early. I had no symptoms there, and it was just a fluke that I'm going there to see a urologist for something totally different. And this thing flags and catches, okay. And so when I would recommend you go have like regular colonoscopy. That's male and female. They insert a scope in you. They're checking the intestinal linings, looking for polyps. I suggest you cut a lot of your hard meats down. You like a lot of your chickens, a lot of your beef. You go to like as much as a plant-based diet as you can. You don't deal with dairy. Don't deal with dairy. Now you're talking to a guy who loves. I love nice milkshakes and stuff, but they don't necessarily love me. Make sure you have plenty of fiber in your diet. But overall, if anything, I would say that this message is designed to say, go get yourself checked. Having a colonoscopy, many of your programs, many of your health insurance programs are going to cover that anyway, because it's considered preventive. It's just like doing something like an annual checkup and things. In that way, they can actually see, what's going on with your. This is an illness that you must catch early, because once it gets a hold of you and starts showing symptoms, it's going to be a whole nother upgrade, a whole nother dog. Now, with where's the status I stand right now? I consider myself perfectly healthy. Sure, when the last time you got yourself checked out? About a couple of years ago. Do you have any symptoms that you are aware of? No. I used to. There used to be like blood in the stool, and you could tell that because if you have like a slim reddish type stool, or if it's jet black, that's not good. Those are combination of blood is going somewhere, and usually happened as a result of this illness, not necessarily all the time. Being I was dealt with anemia. Remember, the blood disease I have was aplastic anemia. So often I get cold a lot. Often I'm very, very cold, even down here in Florida. Not as much as when I was up in Buffalo, New York. Obviously, weather things. So I have to make sure my iron supplement. I have to make sure I'm very, very distressed. But not distressed, but free of stress. Get regular checkups. Consider changing your diet. It's a couple of natural health things I do. The natural health things is not a substitute of not seeing your doctor. What was the difference between me and Mr. Bozeman? Lord God, I don't know. When I heard that on Saturday, I actually had some like survivor's remorse. Because we survived those at the same time. It took him down to nothing, and yet I still stand before you. Still, someone would secondly say, well, you got this and you got that or whatever. But I just give God glory for sparing my life. I don't know why. I don't know why it came out of both those catastrophic illness. I can only tell you what it did to me. But nevertheless, if I wouldn't have had a great support system like Didas and even Denise and talking with Michael Delco, my youngest brothers, I don't know what I would have did. To this day, and I know she's not going to find out. To this day, I have not told my mother. My mother has no clue I deal with this.
Wow.
My dad does. To this day, I have not told my mother, and I know she's not going to watch YouTube, and I know anybody in my circle is not going to tell her about this. Why did I not tell my mother? Because I wasn't going to make the same mistake that I did with my wife. I knew my mother would vehemently worry about me and worry about me. I knew it would drive her into a level of depression and fear that I did not want to wish that on my mother. Most of my mother's in a nursing home. She already deals with enough things going on right now. So I don't tell her about that. But mom, as any parent can do, as I've heard, and as I've seen, and as I've been experienced, my father and mother can pick me up right now. I mean, when I pick me up, I mean in the spirit. They'll ask like, "Hey, is something? So what's going on?" I think it's the bond between the parent and the child. I'm convinced of that. So mom would ask me that, and she'll ask how you doing, and I'll tell her I'm feeling good, mom. What you here? I don't like my mother, but I just didn't want her to worry. Exercise. I'm into exercise. You guys often hear me talking about with my cycling, getting out there doing anything like that. My next colonoscopy is probably scheduled to do that, early next year or later on this year. I have to go out there. Colonoscopy, they're looking for polyps, they're looking for growths, and they can just go in and remove them. That's a simple outpatient procedure. They can do that the same day, put you under, get someone to drive you home, and that should be fine. Lifestyle changes, yeah. I mean, you have to have lifestyle change, regardless of whether they say you have this or definitely if you don't have it, you have to look at how you're treating your body. What's your house? What's in your house? If even if mold inspections, you want to make sure you take care of everything you can for not yourself and your body to be compromised. Why I said mold? So some people visibly react to mold very different. I don't. I'm not allergic to it at all. But you're looking at everything that you can look at. But now, okay, you're blindsided like me. What do? Don't be afraid. Talk to someone. I pulled over the side of the road and I called my friend Dinas Samir. Like I said, we're very close friends. This ain't just carrot bars we do. We are extremely close. I told him what was going on, and I was so afraid I couldn't think. And even now I deal with a lot of those things by just pushing ahead, pushing behind me, and keep going. But have a support system. Go see your physician. Go see your doctor. Make the choice now. If sometimes maybe chemotherapy, radiation, depending on what I got, I would suggest you talk to someone, and your significant other, your parents, or someone you really, really trust. Weigh out the options. That's the thing. But being I already had a track record, I already been through the chemotherapy before, and I knew my body. I know my body better than a gastronomist. I know my body better than a hematologist. I know what makes the body of Fitzgerald Stevens work. I know when it's off. So I wasn't going to let someone push me in a thing that I felt like I wasn't ready for, because I knew what chemotherapy does. I knew what it was capable of doing. Keep in mind, when I first had it, I was like 25. And it was difference between the physical strength and physical body of a 25-year-old as opposed to a 51-year-old when I received it, as opposed to a 56. Now, if I had merited, and this is my thing, this is not medical advice, I'm talking to you from my experience. Now, if I would have thought like, okay, it got to a point, okay, well, Fitzgerald, you don't take this right now, you're not going to make it 6 months. Well, maybe that would have changed it. But fortunately mine is dormant. Mine is like, what's the word I want to use? The phrase I want to use, Prince Amir, like a ticking, like a bomb that hasn't been lit yet. Yeah, I can put it like that. So you deal with those type of stress, but I went on with my life. I just started Carrot Bars in 2015. 2016, I was doing that. Went home to go see my parents. Went and talked to my dad. Actually that helped my dad and I improve our relationship. I'm the oldest son, and I understand I'm a lot like him in personality wise. So Daddy and I used to clash a lot. Well, after I talked to him, we put a lot of stuff behind. It just wasn't worth it anymore. You just, not that it's worth it in the first place. You just get a thing about just how fragile life is. Now, the other thing I would say to you: live your life. Live your life. I mean, you don't make the mistake I did, thinking you're already checked out, and you're thinking you're going to die and everything, and you're thinking like the worst of it. Yes, each and every one of us, under the sound of my voice, we are dying every day. But we can choose to die every day, or we can choose to live every day. I chose to live. Lifestyle change is going to have to be non-negotiable. When people tell me, well, I can't do that, I can't change this, I'm just in some way that I can't stop smoking, I can't stop eating all that fast food, I can't stop just always constantly eating meat and processed foods and all that kind of stuff. You can't do it because you haven't got the right doctor report. I'll say again, you can't do it because you haven't got the right doctor report. If you get the right doctor report, I assure you can change overnight. You can change on the dime. You'll be amazed at what you can do if you want to live for yourself and others. Colon cancer is nothing to be frightened. I could not speak on the other ones. I could say the same thing, but understand this: it is so extraordinary easily to treat and eliminate, provided you catch it in the early stage. Now, for those of you who don't like to go to doctors because you think it's a conspiracy, well, if that's the case, go to a doctor of your race. Go to someone you'll feel free with. There are a lot of healers out there. There are a lot of great healing doctors out there, I consider. You got to see somebody. You got to have regular checkups. If you have insurance, get those checkups. If you don't have insurance, still get those checkups. It's a lot of free clinics that offer all kinds of services, for income challenged people. And you owe it to yourself to live as long as you can, productively as you can. For not only for yourself, for others. Now, what would I do? What would I have done differently once I got the diagnosis that I did? I don't know. I thought I faced the situation. I talked to my brothers. I talked to Dynas. I talked to Mr. Delco. I made some lifestyle changes. I went to the clinic. I received treatment. I monitor my stuff. I wouldn't be in fear so much. That fear cost me my job. That fear put a lot of compromise on my marriage. No. That fear took my confidence away, that because I was so afraid of guests dying, not being around, thinking, it's lights over. I wouldn't give in at I would talk to maybe my pastor, which I did. I would just get through my head with the business of living. Now between that time, 4 years ago, 4 years until right now, and when Dynas talked to me, it still shot that fear in me. So I had to kill that. And Mr. Joseph, if you're listening right now, thank you for helping me with that. Simple the fact that the man told me, hey, you overcome it, you beat it. You're living, you can help someone else. And when he said you can help someone else, that's what turned the whole thing around. That's what I told Dynas, hey, I'm gonna call, and you want to do this, let's go ahead and do it. But I said, hey, if you're gonna do it, let's take the time that we're going to do for carrot bars, because you telling me you're going to do it at 7 o'clock. Hey, I'm strong right now, ready. I'm couraged up. I'm couraged up. I don't know if that courage is going to wear off at 7 o'clock, because you get to thinking about it, and you get to thinking about it now. So I think I covered everything. As far as from my experience, it's not. It doesn't have to get in the way of you living. Now, for those of you who are really facing the advanced stages of it, God's a healer. God is a healer, and there are some great people out there, some great oncologists out there, some great gastroenterists. Deals exclusive with the stomach, and some great healers. There's some great support system, and it's made in the time from when I had this Prince Amir to when I first was diagnosed about 4 years ago to now, medicine has greatly advanced. It's not a death sentence. It's not a death sentence. That's what I want you to know. But not doing anything, or not talking to someone, or not looking for your options, I wouldn't recommend that plan. Trying to be all man and woman up, you're not strong enough to handle this by yourself. I'll put my mental fortitude with anybody on the stream. I'll put my mental strength with anybody on the stream, and I couldn't deal with it. So thank God for that. I did have a good friend. I have a circle similar like Mr. Bozeman have. And one thing I admire about him, he's been dealing with this for 4 years, but no one never broke rank in the circle. I had that same type of circle. Dynas has never broke rank. Michael was never broke. Michael Delco, Michael Preston, and Michael Stevens, my two younger brothers, they never broke rank. Anybody I told about this, Jim Zigmont, they never broke rank. These are all friends of mine, family members, and they were a good support system and stuff. So I have that. I am the one that I could say broke rank, and the only reason I broke rank today was because Dynas asked me. Mr. Joseph said you can help someone, and I believe that God can get glory out of what happened to me, to use it to minister to someone here or someone they know about. Hey, Fitzgerald Stevens he doesn't look it, and he's walking and overcoming and going about his life. And that's another thing. And thank you, God, for bringing this to my mind. He doesn't look it. Don't make a difference what you look like. Get yourself checked. See, I didn't look it neither. I don't look it now. Had it would have been saying like, hey, I'm going there to see why my wife and I can't have children. I have finally got insurance. Let me go check. Let me go see a urologist. And I'm going for one thing, but a whole nother thing came up. If I wouldn't have had that, I wouldn't have thought I had no need to get checked. Because I was fine. I was riding the streets of Buffalo. I was selling. I was, doing all kinds of great stuff. I mean, I was living life, going up in Canada. I was on the singing in the worship team in church, and and helping people and giving my time. I was fine. I was fine. So I thought. So it was by the grace of God that I went for one thing, but we found this at another thing. And because I think I found it, because we think we discovered it earlier, I stand before you right now, a man that's managing this, a man that doesn't think about this. I don't even like to use the word. When Diane would ask me, say, hey, I was dealing with something. I mean, I said, I'm dealing with something, and you look back at my streams, I'll say, but I'm not going to say what it is. Well, I was dealing with thyroid cancer. I was dealing with that. And I'm not going to say I still don't deal with it, but it doesn't stop me from trying to create a better life for myself, to create a better life for helping other people create a better life for me. I'm not so handicapped that I can't help others. But as long as I had up in my mind that I can't talk about this because I don't know what's going to happen and I don't know it. Still, I had to put myself aside. And Diane, thank you for challenging me on that. And the only thing I wish with you, Diane, the only thing, and I said this to you a couple of times, man, I just wish you would have pushed a little bit more, because you seem to think that if Fitzgerald says something, I'll let it go. And I told you privately, and I'll tell you publicly, man. I'll tell you guys to say the same thing. If you got someone you care about, you love, and you guys love each other back, you got a great friendship, you should be, hey, man, Fitzgerald, you're a survivor. You can help someone. That's all he would have had to say to me. Mm-hmm. But he shouldn't have let it go, because he said, man, because he said, I got people calling me, Fitzgerald, asking me about this. And I got people in that, and all he would have had to say is, hey, man, you can help someone. There's nothing to be afraid about. You've overcame. And sometimes you got to be reminded where you are. Now, little brother, I'm not getting on you.
No, it's all good. No, we're good.
But this is a lesson I want you guys to use. If you're dealing with this, or you got someone who's confided in you, and about this, you need to say, hey, you need to go get yourself checked. You ain't got nothing to be afraid about. You need to go get that treatment. You need to go talk to someone. You need to get on top of it. Just sticking your head under the covers at night, that's not going to go away. Maybe you have children or someone who needs you to be here. So don't go ahead and fall into that excuse as well. I don't want to go to the doctors. I'm afraid of what they might say. Okay, let's deal with that, and let's get on top of this where we can get about the business of living. I'm here right now before you because of the grace of Almighty God. I truly believe that. There is nothing merits why I should be here. A 43-year-old man, a global icon, and I'm nowhere near that, had much more resources than me, literally millions at his disposal. But yet he couldn't stop this. And he's in the ground, and I'm standing here right now. Same time period, he dealt with it. And, and I'm sitting right here now. I admire that man. That man was part of the reason why I'm talking to you right now. He worked through it. He was still productive. Even though he's fighting this thing, he was still making a difference in people's lives. And so how dare I just sit on what God has given me and what I'm able to do right now, just sit on it because I was afraid of somebody may write a bad review about me, or someone may say something hurtful to me, because I already had dealt with enough fear. But I'm over that right now. So I'm telling you right now, when it comes to life, there is no such thing as tomorrow. No such thing. As I stated yesterday, stop telling people, you have time. Stop allowing people to waste your time. Stop procrastinating with something that you know is good for you and those you love, because you don't have time. Every day that you get on God's earth is a gift from him. He necessarily said you're going to wake up tomorrow. Can't do anything about yesterday. And for those of you who are struggling with whether it's health issues or mental health issues or depression, seek help. Seek out people who seek out a support system. Seek out a support system. I was confident that I was confident that I could call Prince Dinas Amir, but I didn't have the strength to call him. Let me explain this again. I didn't have the strength to call him. God had to touch his heart to call me for something totally different. And then when he said something to me, and I forget what it was, or Fitzgerald, how you doing? And I just told him the truth. I didn't lie to my friend, because people can't help you if you don't tell them the truth. You don't let them know your cards on the table. Hey, I have a problem. I'm scared. I need your counseling. This. So I said, Dinas, I was just diagnosed with this, and I don't know how to talk. And I knew I could be vulnerable in front of my friends. I literally broke down in tears. That doesn't make me less than a man. Doesn't make me less than a man. He's my friend. He's my brother. I knew he wasn't going to give me any crazy advice. And he really didn't have the advice to give me. He just listened.
I never experienced it. I didn't.
And by having a listening voice, okay, let me go get checked. Let me go talk to my wife. Let me go talk to my friend. Mr. Michael Delco said, "Hey, Fitzgerald, man, you're tearing this thing up." And he had Mr. Best on the line. He said, "You're tearing this thing up." No, it was him first. I'm sorry. He called Mr. Best later. He said, "Man, what are you doing to really drive this business, to share our business? Why are you, man, you're sponsoring people left and right." So I said, "Honestly?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Man, I was diagnosed with colon cancer." He stopped talking. Because like Dinas, he didn't know about it. He just stopped talking. I said, "Well, if I don't build anything for myself and build something financially, I don't know what happened. I mean, I'm forced to do that. You guys wonder why I talk about this business, or if this business was to go away, why I would still be pushing and everything. That's why, and I was still productive. I still got out and did productive stuff. Now, so if I would have waited around and wasted all those 4 years of time, I wouldn't have a business around the world, close to 12,000 affiliates right now. He called Mr. Best, and he was confident in Mr. Best, and talking to me. Mr. Best got on and say, "Hey, you know what? You can beat this. I know someone that did it too." And so I had that support system. You ask why I'm so loyal to both of those men. You ask why I'm so loyal to Prince Dinas Amir. You ask why I have compassion on people who are hurting. Well, it's one of my reasons why. And so in a nutshell, for those of you who are dealing with this or know someone dealing with this, for those of you who are dealing with this, don't be in fear. No, as a spiritual man, as a man who relies on the presence of Yahweh, I would say seek God, seek the Holy Spirit, seek wisdom. Get yourself in a calm place. Evaluate the facts. Don't make decisions in fear. Get you a mastermind group, your people who are around you. Say, this is what it is on the table. And when you say something to those people, make sure it's someone you can trust, not someone go ahead and going to sing into the New York Times. That's not a friend. That's not a friend. You're sick and you got this. Not someone go say, "Hey man, let's go down to the strippers club and blow off some steam." That's not a friend. "Hey man, just go ahead and grab this joint and get this booze." That's not a friend. You need someone to walk beside you, and if they don't know what to say, they have to have the ability to listen and not say anything, but they have to calibrate you. What they're doing is calibrating you. Then once you get that, then you evaluate your options. You go see your doctors. You evaluate their device. Understand, doctors are they're people too. You know your body. If you choose to go the homeopathic way, that's on you. If you choose to go the chemotherapy way, that's on you. Nothing is wrong with neither one of them. The object of what you're trying to do is live, and then follow your regimes. Change your lifestyle. Change your lifestyle. Now, for some of you may need to go seek professional help, like a psychotherapist. I wouldn't necessarily say a psychologist, but a psychotherapist, or if you're blessed with a good network like I am, You want to talk with them. You want to have open communication with them. And I would say for those people who confide, who people like myself confide in, don't make us feel like oh, they're just calling us to check. I don't want to hear that anymore. It's not for you. I don't have that. I don't have friends like that. In other words, they wouldn't be my friends. Okay. And don't be afraid to share your story, because you never know what someone else is going through out there. Don't make the mistake that I did, all these years. Man, I don't even want to mention the word. I don't even want to mention the word with the C, much less call it by the full thing, choleric cancer. I don't even want to mention the word. I don't even want to think about it. Someone else probably needs you to share your story. Sometimes you can give them hope. Not all doctors are bad. Not all doctors are against you. If you don't like the opinion of the first one, seek out another one. Seek out another one. But make sure you avail yourself to screening. Now, if I can help someone who has been putting off going to go get their self checked out, especially those of you who say, I'm fine, I don't have no symptoms, I'm this, I'm that. Stop that silliness. Stop that foolishness. Get yourself checked out annually. Get yourself checked out bi-yearly. If you got the insurance, go. If you don't, go. There's a plenty of clinics out there. Keep abreast of your body. Listen to signs of your body. Know what to look for. When something don't feel right in your spirit, move on it. No, move on it, and don't just sit there and think that inaction is action. So that's all I will lead you with. Prince, thank you so much, man, for
thank you.
This. I don't consider this vulnerable. I feel better now. My hands is not shaking now like it was when I was up on the show. This hand, I was literally just trying to grab it like this to stop it from shaking, but it's not doing that right now, because in my heart of hearts, I really believe that I really believe I made a difference in somebody. So for what it's worth, we have to get busy with the business of living. We have to get busy with the business of not wasting time, or better yet, taking time for granted. I remember one time I got in a funk, and I was up in Buffalo, and I saw this Muslim doctor, great man, Dr. Fauci. Not really Abdul Fauci, not really much a sense of humor, right to the point. So much of a sense of point. I just I'm like, dang, dude, don't you know how to talk to people better? And he's like, man, I'm not here to really talk to me. I'm trying to get you well. But when I was diagnosed with high blood pressure, I believe that was hereditary. My father, no problem. My two younger brother, no problem. My mom, blood pressure issue. Our older son, me, that. I'd since switched to my bike and switched to a lot of other things, stopped my coffee. I don't know. I just had a taste for some today. But I had got to the point where I said, no, I don't want no blood pressure medicine. I'm cool. I'll go ahead and lose weight and manage it myself. He said, okay. And I came back. Well, I didn't hit my weight goals, and the blood pressure was still up. I took some of it. I took the things. Then that thing kicked in me. Like, I don't like taking medicine. You're talking to a man who literally doesn't like taking an asprin. I don't believe in anything.
I'm the same way. Like, I'll take medicine as a last resort.
Aspirin, and I'm not sitting up there trying to find myself on a dime bag of reefer. I don't do that neither. I remember when I turned 50 years old, I told Denise, I said, hey, honey, I want to get me a dime, a nickel bag. Yeah, they laughed me out of the house, man. I just want to get me a nickel bag. I ain't never been. I just want to see what it feel like, that one nickel bag at 50 years old. Get me a nickel bag. They laughed me out the thing. Like prep boy type thing, but nevertheless, they say no to that foolishness and everything like that. But so I took the medicine the first time, but then all of a sudden I stopped. And here's what happened when I came in the third time. He said, he said, are you taking it? And I didn't lie to him. I said, no, not really. No. So I don't like the way it make me feel. He said, Fitzgerald, you've been given a second chance at life, because he knew my medical history with the bone marrow transplant. You've been given a second chance of life. Don't waste it. Don't waste it. He said, they call this stuff the widowmaker, what you have, this blood pressure. And they call it that for a reason, because it doesn't have any symptoms neither, for the most part, but it could take you out here. So guess who started taking blood pressure medication? Guess who was having that prescription filled yesterday? Guess who still gets out on the bike and ride 24, 28, 35 miles? Sometimes 3 and 4 times a week. Because I'm trying to get off of it. I'm trying to do the things, trying to do what I'm doing. I'm trying to do my part. And I guess, ladies and gentlemen, this is what it is with you. You have to do your part. And denying it and being, because you're afraid of what the doctor might say, you're afraid what someone is going to say, is not intelligent. There are people who are around you that really want you to be here. Ma'am, sir, they would be quite broken if you wasn't here. And it would be even more horrific if there was something that you can do about it, that you just refuse to do. So get away from that and get on with the business of living. God puts breath in our body, every day at his choosing. We honor him by what we do with that breath. What do we do? And, and you can, and few things can honor him better than making a difference in the lives of others. Oh, you gotta live right. You gotta live holy. You gotta live decent. You gotta do that. But a few things to honor him better than to helping someone else live better, helping make a difference in someone else's life. And you know what? You can do that. You don't have to be a movie star. You don't have to be known all the world. You don't have to make Black Panther movies. You can just be a simple guy from a town of 100 people in Southeast Alabama, telling you to go out and get yourself checked. Don't get afraid. Get you a good support system. Do a life change style. Adhere to your doctor's instructions, even your medication. Do what you need to do, but get in the business of living. Enjoy your time that God has given you on this earth with you and your family each and every day, because it's not promised to you. Prince Dynasty Amir, I have nothing else to say.
Hey, I appreciate you coming on the show. That means a lot. Like I said, a lot of people were emailing me and calling me, hey, Dynasty, can you do a show on colon cancer because of what happened to the brother of Chadwick Boseman? And in the back of my head, I was like, I actually know a colon cancer survivor. So that's why I approached you, Fitzgerald. And, thank you for coming on. And, I would say, I don't want to say exposing yourself, but, or even putting
myself. It's long overdue, man. I should have did this, but but God in his grace and timing. But I feel like what especially what happened to this great man, Mr. Boseman. He was a young guy, 43 years old, young guy, and I think Mr. Boseman brought more awareness to this than practically anyone ever in the history of the world. I know he did, because of its standing. Well, so to me, the timing was right. I can't hide behind the luxury that I'm afraid to talk to someone. People are dying for this thing every single day, ladies and gentlemen. Great people, rich people, poor people. It's to make a difference. You see, this thing doesn't take prisoners. And what I want to say is life is going to happen to you. When I was younger, I was foolish in this one thing. I didn't plan for the problems. Everything, I had a plan, and my plan always included everything going right. And so when things happen that didn't go right, I didn't know how to deal with it. Like many people, I didn't know how to deal with it. But you have to have a contingency plan, and you have to have the name of the game is to live as long as you can with the most prosperity and mind and wealth and relationships as you can. Right now, the name of the game is get on the business living. You don't have time. You don't have time. All you have is now. And you have to invest that. And you have to get around people who are going to support you. But you have to be vulnerable to people. You got to trust someone.
Right.
You got to trust someone. You can't be all that like you're going to figure it all out. You're not that smart, ladies and gentlemen. You're not that smart. If you had all the answers, great.
there.
Hey, I mean, you have all the answers. I mean, I'd like to know how you arrived at such a high plateau. Only God Almighty deserves that title. But there's someone I know has all the answers all the time about everything. No, and so it's not a death sentence. It's not. Look at this man, Prince. Look at Mr. Bozeman. He's making blockbuster movies. He's visiting people at cancer wards. He's taking ridicule even when he had that. He was accused of being on crack when he was losing weight. Now, I get a lot of those people right now don't feel so bright about saying stuff. You don't know what people are going through.
Right.
So how dare you put your mouth on something you have no clue what the heck you're talking about? Or you can't sit up there and lecture me, say, oh, Fitzgerald, I would do this, or you should have did that. I'll ask you one thing. You ever dealt with this diagnosis before? Well, you should have followed what the doctor is. Doctors I talked to never dealt with this. I did.
Or you should have took CMOS. You should
have grabbed CMOS, and you should have broke up the Tylenol. You should have ate Georgia red clay.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. You should have told your wife, or you should be man. Are you dealing with this? I'm more the expert than any doctor I talked to on it. Not unless he's dealt with it and overcame it. So someone said there, well, you're not a doctor. Don't have to be. I lived it, dude. I lived it. I overcame it. So that makes me quite a world expert in what I'm talking about. I know what the heck I'm talking about. This just like when I talk about carrot bars, I know what I'm talking about. But especially this. So this is the court of action. This is a man talking to you who is a survivor, who's a thriver, who's a winner, who's a see myself like that. And, but who as of this day became more of a man because I stopped hiding because I was afraid to talk about my situation that possibly could have freed someone else from their situation. So you can't be a coward. So as far as for that, Didas, thank you for challenging me. I see some things on here right now. We're about 57.
Go ahead. Take your time, for sure. Take your time. Take your time.
I'm going to take yours right now. You said, Mr. Stevens, please return and answer a few questions you can. It would be appreciated for anyone who has survived any family members with a few questions. Mr. Monk, I'm going to answer them right now. It said, I was tested 4 years ago, doing okay, Mr. Monk, praise God. African superstar, definitely admire that lady. No, do a broadcast. I'm a fan of hers. Happy to chose to share. Thank you very much. She also put carrot bars as a goal business. Yes, it is. We'll talk about that on another show, but we got more bigger issues on the table besides that, as far as I felt, because we will get back to that. African, so sorry, Fitzgerald, African superstar choked up too. Don't be, sweetheart. Don't be. Let's live. I need, my thing is to help you support your show, help you be great in whatever you're trying to do, and make out lives for you because you're a wonderful person. I don't give a dang if you're in carrot bars or not. I just want to help you because I admire what your work is. So this ain't no time for anyone to be sad. It's too much to do, and too many people out there need hope. And you're giving it to them. Heavily beautiful black. I have breast cancer. Heavily beautiful black. I lost a very close aunt to that wretched disease back a couple years ago. Then I lost another aunt to ovarian cancer. There's nothing to fill those holes. Yeah. There's nothing to fill those holes. But you're a survivor, and just go ahead and grab your treatment. Stay. Don't get in fear. Fear. Why do I say don't get into fear? Well, let's talk about that. Is this a mind over matter thing? Yes. Yes and no. Not like this. I'm this and I'm not. I'm this. I don't have this. I don't have that. Yeah, you have it. But if you get in fear switches on in your body. Fear will switch. The very thing you fear will happening. It really. Don't ask me how. But that's why I don't really talk about it, because once you get afraid and once you can literally start switching stuff on in your body, because your body will respond to your words faster than anyone else and respond to your belief system. So you got to think on those things, that whatsoever things are good, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things be a good report, think on these things, as the book of Philippians says. So I really believe that. That's why you hear me not talk about the fear. It's not that I deny it, but I just don't speak and give life to it. Okay, so very, very important, you know, how I regulated my life. You know, I got my first home for this. Heavily black, beautiful black, no chemotherapy. Well, I respect that. If you didn't get any chemotherapy, I respect that. If you got the chemotherapy, I respect that. Ma'am, that's your choice. That's your choice. You know your body. So I'm not going to say anything wrong with any of them, you know, but I respect your choice. Um, let me see. Read something. Dinesh, you can help me out. African superstar medical treatment in America is big business. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was one statement, Fitzgerald. I think it was Heavenly Beautifully Black. She mentioned how that's one of the reasons why she's leaving America is because the food is poisoned and going to Africa where everything.
Oh, thank you. Hold on for a second. God, you brought up a great point, man. I almost thought to jump out of my chair here. When we got ready, when we made a decision, I made a decision to move up in Buffalo, New York. And I fought that. I didn't want to go. And I'm not going to give the reasons why I was up there, but it's definitely the wrong dang decision. I should have never did it. One reason I didn't want to go back up north, as I call it, that's how Southerners speak. Southerners down here, born in the Southern United States, we call anything probably like north of Kentucky the North. You know, right. One of the reasons I didn't want to go north because I got sick up there both times. New Haven, Connecticut, aplastic anemia came out of nowhere, full bone marrow transplant. And when I left the north for one time, you know, I left there and I spit on the ground. I'm like, hell, I ain't never come back up here. Went right back up to New York. I was adamant about not going because in my mind, I got sick up there. I got sick. I had that fear that I was going to get sick. And guess what the hell happened? When I was up in Buffalo, New York, shortly thereafter, you know, I was diagnosed with this. Now, you may have heard of a thing called love canal. Okay, it was a meltdown or not a meltdown. It was a nuclear waste type thing. It was right over in Western New York. I didn't know that. There were more cancer cases in Buffalo, New York to shake a stick at. You go up there, you wouldn't think about that because the atmosphere is great. The summers are some of the best, you know, in the United States. You wouldn't think about that. It's Buffalo is like the biggest, smallest town you ever want to live in, Western New York, but it's riddled with cancer cases. Now, why? Well, it used to be a very, very industrial town before the Erie Canal really started shutting down. They went other ways. But they didn't properly dispose of that. They just buried a lot of that stuff. A lot of that lead is in the ground, a lot of that things. Big farm country up there. But a ton of cases up there. One of the reasons when I wanted to get back home because we didn't really much deal with it. South does deal with it in certain areas, but not like it did in my impression, like they did the North. So when my relationship broke up, when my current relationship and my wife and I unfortunately decided to separate it, man, I got the heck out of Buffalo. I got out of there, man, August 18, 2018. I never looked back. When I left that, I packed my RAV4 and I left a lot of stuff. Everything I can get in that car, I left. If I couldn't, everything I could get in that car, I took. Everything else I left. I didn't care about it. When I crossed into Pennsylvania out of New York, I didn't even look back in New York in my rearview mirror. Okay. Because I had a thing like that. So now when I'm back in South and getting recharged with the vitamin D and all that kind of stuff. Now I'm back in my home territory. I feel fine, you know, and I'm doing much better because I was somewhere I want to be. But some places are accessible to a lot of some regions are accessible to a lot more cancer diagnosis in other areas, you know, and you know, don't ask me why, but you know, I don't want to be around those. And so Bundu, that's why you can't stay with toxic people. Absolutely. If you guys notice, you know, if you guys notice that when we get people on here like to say hard, callous, hurtful things, I'm absolutely ruthless. I literally go to rip your dang throat out. Mm-hmm. That's what I do. And I do it with pleasure. Why? Because I'm not going to put up with that toxicity atmosphere. You never know where someone is on the brink. So you want to clown? Fitzgerald Stevens is not the one to cross. I ain't interested in being nice to you. And if I wasn't on Prince Amir's stream, I'd really let you know how I felt about it. because you can't. Who are you to criticize, especially with stuff you don't know anything about? And who are you to take someone's hope? Like this person right here, the way of Yah. A lot of us suffer in silence too. Man, I could write a book about that, but you don't have to. The way of Yah, you don't have to suffer in silence. God never designed you for that. He designed you for companionship and relationships. That's when human beings are the strongest. That's why solitary confinement is considered cruel and unusual punishment. Because in the book of Genesis, God said it's not good for man or woman to be alone. We're created for relationships. But you have to have the right relationship. If you got toxic people in your life, get the heck rid of them. I don't care if they call themselves mama, sister, brother, daddy. I don't care. Get rid of them. They're not pouring life in you. They're pouring death in you. Get rid of them. And definitely you don't need that when you're at you're facing something life or death, like the subject I'm talking about. BB, the fall winter is coming. Building your immune system is key to health. Survive this season so you may actually make it to the continent. You know what a thing? And once again, this is me. I'm not a doctor. I'm not so. You know, there's a lot of herbs I chew on. In particular, I love garlic. You know, it has great medicinal benefits and turmeric, great medicinal benefits. But you know, it's still up to me to take my body. Heavenly Beautiful Black. I knew it was cancer when I saw him. You're totally wrong. You familiar with that look? You're totally wrong. Had I wouldn't disclose it, you would never figure it out.
No. She's talking about Chadwick Boseman.
Okay, all right. Let me apologize. You see how you get the defensiveness.
Yeah.
Get rid of it. You know, so I'm going off on a tangent because like it put like, all right, I don't know. You got to get rid of that. So right. For anything, after I apologize to that person, which I was flat out wrong, anything, for those of you who are praying people, I solicit your prayers. Okay, I'm going to ask for that. I've never asked that for that before. And so I really need that. And everyone else who's going through things like that. So we, you know, just pray. We all need that. I don't like the Paul Zuri. I don't like the fact that you can't be insured for colon inspection unless you're 50. Mr. Zuri, I haven't heard of that one before, but you know, but sometimes you couldn't take out the supplemental policies. I know Dynash used to sell Aflac, and I used to do it combined insurance, and we would sell those accident life sickness policy, cancer policy. So sometimes that can go outside the realm of your regular insurance, and you know, like supplemental policies, so you can get a hold of that. I have one of those, and it did pay off. That's how I got my colonoscopy. And when I was analyzed with it, to wellness check, I actually got paid, you know, for once they found that polyp in my colon. I actually got paid for that. Let me see. Feel free to jump in feel free to jump in any moment now. And I'm not trying to ignore anyone. I'm just trying to read stuff right here.
I think the big one was the I mean, like I told you, Fitzgerald, here in America, they charge you more to eat healthy, when in Africa, eating healthy is dirt cheap.
Yeah, in America, and I don't have no problem saying this. I don't believe, for the most part, this country is in the business of healing. I believe it's in the business of treating sickness. Well, why do you say that, Fish? That's a bold dang statement. Listen, every year the Breast Cancer Society walk around. Every year they have raised tens of billions of dollars. Yes. And you're telling me they're still looking for a cure? You go down to major cities: Tampa, Atlanta, Buffalo, St. Louis, Minneapolis, even Los Angeles, the states. So go look at these cities right there. It used to be the biggest buildings in the thing are the banks. Not anymore. Look at the cancer treatment buildings. Look at them. Look at the opulence of those buildings. You're telling me you're searching for a cure dang near 30-something years with tens of billions of dollars? No, you're not in the business of curing. Overall, you're in the business of treating. It's a known fact that chemotherapy, practically destroys the body from the inside. It's just like radiation practically burns the body from the inside. It's a known fact, but yet they still keep subscribing it. Why? Because the profit margins are good. Has it helped some people? Yeah. Did it help you, Fitzgerald? Yeah. But it's not necessarily. There are there are other alternative methods that
Man, but this is just a sick place, man. Oh man.
Well, look at the way it is. The regulations. Look how the waters have been flooded. Look how the soil has been contaminated. We could even go around and saying people putting fluoride in water. Fluoride's a poison. Fluoride toothpaste is nothing good about it. I suggest you go and find toothpaste without fluoride. You're going to drink water out of your tap. Go get you one of them filtration systems. Just little things like that. We don't know what's buried around us. We just don't know. So, and all those have effects upon us. Like Mrs. Zuri also said, Waycross, Georgia has high level people with cancer. A lot of times those dumps like that, they're in poor and people of color neighborhoods.
Yeah.
This is fact. And so we need to take a look at this. We need to know when you get ready to buy a house, go in there and see. Go ahead and see what with the foundation at town. Go ahead and see if there was nuclear dumper or waste site. Go ahead and see if there was like an industry where they had a lot of steel or lead in there. And how did they dispose it? Did they just cover it up? We got to know this thing. Heavily Beautiful Black, pineapple is good for colon cancer. Thank you for that. I eat a lot of mangoes, and I chew raw garlic every day, and it really helps with some lung things. And plus, I do the same thing with turmeric, jalapeno peppers. I eat a lot of my vegetables raw. I used to cook them. I don't do that anymore. I just chop them up, eat a lot of my vegetables raw. And now what I do, I look for food, not necessarily how it tastes. I look for food for what it does to my body. Red onions, bell peppers, kale, all the greens. Those are superfoods. Sour sop, a dragon fruit. So I got to looking at fruits and herbs and what it does. Because I'm trying to get healed. I'm trying to maintain for far what I have right now. But that's a very good point. Can you go over the policy for cancers? Go over the policies. Can you go over the policies for cancer we should get? That's by Crenshaw Grinder. I'm not quite sure what you mean by the policies.
If he emails me, if he's in Georgia, or depending where he's at.
And I'm specifically talking about colon cancer right now, which I'm pretty much very, very abreast of. That's the one I have to deal with. And if you asked me anything about blood cancer, I could tell you about that. Those are the two I dealt with and overcame. So all the rest of them I can't really deal with it because I don't know. I don't have the experience to properly speak on. So I would say go with a doctor. Anthony Keefe, sickness is a business. Yes, sir. You're absolutely right. Heavenly Beautiful Black, they want us sick. The data, indicates that you're right there. The way of y'all may living waters flow through Brothers Fitzgerald entire body from crown head to the sole of his feet. Sir, ma'am, appreciate you for that. My phone number is 716-573-6296. 716-573-6296. Anyone who sends me stuff like that, I definitely want to talk to you. I appreciate it. Prince Mir, you call it when you want. As far as that blind guy, his wife. I'm glad you mentioned the physical location being a key factor. Whole food, plant-based lifestyle can reverse cancer, but carcinogenics, toxic waste, dumping, mold, fear, and radio waves contribute. Yeah, you know what? Blind guy, his wife, and their life. Thank you for saying that. You know what? I have a friend that he called me, and for some reason, he doesn't deal with microwaves. I instantly understood it.
Right. I don't either. I started
cutting that out too. I fell off the bandwagon. I like popcorn. So I fell off the bandwagon. But yeah, but microwaves. He cut that out too and stuff. And I haven't used toothpaste and commercial mouthwash and soap for over a year. Anthony Keefe, great. One of the best things for cleaning my teeth I found is using baking soda peroxide. That's very good like that. But stay away from toothpaste with fluoride in it. Heavenly Beautiful Black, you get so many great comments you have. I eat vegetables and greens too. Greens, the greener it is, the more hostile it is to cancer. Kale, a superfood. Dark green vegetables, superfoods. If you have a juicer, one of the best juices you can get is pineapple and beets. Beets is like a blood purifier, and you have to keep the blood strong. Here's another interesting thing. Basically over 90% of your diseases start in the gut. So you have to keep that clean. Yeah, I saw your eyes, Prince. That's true. Starts in the gut. Okay, that's where it's broken down and absorbed throughout all the body. So you have to keep that clean. And when someone say clean living, clean eating, they know exactly what they're talking about. Limit your alcohol. We're trying to live. Sour sop. Thank you, Mr. Henry. And you said something about tea is good too. Yeah, there's a tea called chunga tea, from the chunga mushroom. It's a great thing for helping managing for helping to really heal the body. It's supposed to be really deal with a good deal with cancer and stuff. Oh, and by the way, here's a thing you run into. The FDC, they'll sign off on drugs they'll sign off on synthetic drugs. They're cool, even though synthetic drugs are known to have crazy side effects. The side effects are sometimes to be worse than what they're treating. But if you say soursop, if you say chunga mushroom, if you say turmeric, if you say garlic or kale and beef, also we got to do a subject with this. This is herbal medicine. You can't even go out there and say that this is a cure. So I'm sitting up there saying, okay, this help can manage it, because when I say cure, I can be in violation and possibly suffer consequences by claiming something as a cure. But they can claim that synthetic trash cures all day long. One thing about the blood medication, the blood pressure medication, Losatran, I believe it's what I take. Hell, I hate taking it. The side effects is worse than what it's supposed to be treated. I mean, I can take that stuff. I take it. It's like a knockout thing with me. People say, well, it don't supposed to do that. I'm not telling you what it's supposed to do. I'm telling you what it does to me. I can take it right now in like an hour. I'm like this. I have to go in and take showers to stay awake, or I have to physically call myself to act, to do something just to get out the effects of it. I just take it at night right before I'm ready to go to bed, and I wake up in the morning, I'm still drowsy. So I'm desperately trying to wean myself off of that. But just don't stop taking your medication. Just don't go cold turkey doing that. Consult with your doctor. Because that could be dangerous in itself. I'm not saying anything. I'm saying what Fitzgerald Stevens does to manage himself. So don't let this be your gospel. Don't let it be all of that. But let's follow some good advice. Beet juice is powerful with the liver, which is good. Well, thank you for saying that. I've dealt with beet juice and I like it. Kind of sweet, but it's pretty good. You can put a little pineapple into it. And on that note, forgive me for not getting to everyone. Forgive me for not getting to everyone and things like that. Because I'm gonna go ahead and end where we've done shows like this before, but I think this is pretty good. Oh, food. Let's talk about food.
Go ahead.
I grew up on a farm, as many of you know. We were eating organic before I even knew what the heck it was.
All right. What
is organic? Natural food. No pesticides, none of that crap. But so I picked more peas. Black-eyed peas, green peas, purple hull peas. I pick more than that than Del Monte. Del Monte, the grocery, the vegetable thing. I picked peas. We grew fields of it. Fresh okra, collard greens, tomatoes, fresh peppers, fresh watermelons, corn, fresh stuff like that. I could go on my farm, and I could go to the chicken nest and get fresh eggs every day. That's where we had them. We had them on the yard. So, and with our livestock, we knew what we fed them. So when we would take them and get them into a slaughterhouse and get them dressed, secured, and cut up and stuff. And so we knew there was organic food. People down here, people in my town, many of them, white, black, and everything else, were living like high 80s, early 90s. My great grandmother, Mattie Lawson, was over 100 years old. I knew it. She passed away in 1985, about like 102, 103 years old. You know, she had two friends across the road, Miss Hat and Miss Matt. Miss Matt looked like Harriet Tubman. You know, they were sitting on. They would dip chewing tobacco and snuff and all that kind of stuff. They was living something like 100-something years old. Why? Because we worked hard. We were sweating. We was getting great exercise. No video games down there, gentlemen.
Right.
You know, we eat natural food, and people live long lives down there because we was in a different environment, ladies and gentlemen. We was in a fresh environment, you know. So we didn't have to work. Got to these cities and stuff like it's a whole nother thing up here. Didn't know what processed food was. We didn't do that. We had fresh vegetables, fresh fruit, fresh air, healthy lifestyle. So yeah, naturally people live. It's kind of going away now because they're changing the game down there. Okay. You know, and so we were basically able to enjoy a good quality life simply because of that environment that we were in.
Right.
Now, and getting back to food, you know how many, you know, think about that for those of you who like maybe say like a Church's chicken or Popeye's chicken or Chick-fil-A's and stuff. If you go in the country now, you see a whole bunch of chicken houses, like these big warehouses where they harvest chickens. You know why? Because Burger King and Popeyes and Chick-fil-A, they have to buy that stuff. And so you take it from a man who raised chickens and you know and watched them and you know used to you know deal with them. No, they don't grow. A chicken that takes time, man. You don't get a hatch of chicken like 1 week and then 2 weeks later he's fat enough to be, you know, with legs this big. but it is hey man, you go to some of these restaurants and get some chicken thighs, especially you look at like some of these restaurants like Church's, man. These like bionic wings and all that. Right. Injection. That's right. Growth things. And how do we know it's growth things? Well, for those of you who are my age and younger, even Prince Amir's age, you would see like you would see like 14-year-old young girls there, you know, young girls develop like 25, 30-year-olds. That wasn't like that when I was a kid. No. You would see 14-year-old boys deep as mine. Well, how do you think this is coming in? Especially with the young female, right? It's those growth hormones. You're eating that meat, it's going in there, and it's changing physiology. Very, very important. You're also seeing a crazy outbreak. Like I know with Black women, they deal with a urine fibroid tumor. Black males deal with a ton of prostate cancer. You know, it's a lot of it has to do with the diet and the food. All this soul food stuff like that, man, you got to get away from that. Mm-hmm. You got to get away from that. Put the salt shaker down. You know, you don't need to cook your food back and all that kind of stuff. You don't need to do that. Okay, so those choices that we can make, and this contributes a lot to the thing. Avoid white sugar like you would the sugar feeds cancer. Sugar feeds it. Mm-hmm. So high fructose corn syrup, avoid it. You see that on your can, leave it alone. Dextrose, leave it alone. It feeds cancer and stuff. And so when you finally, like me, you're like, oh, okay, I'm trying to live, I'm trying to do some things, and you go in there and you become a label reader, you're going to say, man, dang, it is hard to eat healthy because these preservatives and these additives are in all that stuff. Start reading the labels, and once you become aware, it'll trip you out. I mean, you're like, wow, I didn't know this. All this helps contributing to the demise of your health. And you're slowly poisoning yourself. Not long term, but you're slowly poisoning yourself. There's a reason why people say stay away from fast food. It's not good for you. It's like you might as well be eating a spoonful of nuclear waste. Right. You know, and so on that note, you know, thank you guys very much. You know, for allowing me to talk. Well, I'm not going to say hopefully I helped someone. I know I have. I know God has used me, you know, to help bless His people and help bless people. And I know God has used me to to get through to somebody. Say, you know what, man, I've been afraid. I know someone, or even I'm dealing with, I've been suffering inside that you don't. And you need someone to talk to, give me a call. You know, I'll talk to you about it. I know what it does to your mind. I will tell you stuff. You know, you just need someone to listen. And for those of you who think like, oh my God, I've talked to someone so time before, they're tired of me talking about that. You got the wrong friends. Or maybe they're not tired of you at all. Maybe you're tired of you talking about it. But you have to talk about it in order to get it out your spirit. And it comes out your spirit, then you know you're free to minister to someone else. 4 years I've suffered. And I don't want to call it suffering. I've management. You know, God, because God's healed me. I know that. 4 years. And with Saturday, I thought I was put it all away. Saturday, I found the words of what Mr. Bozeman died for and said choleric cancer. No. Didn't know how to talk about it. Call Prince Dynasty Samir. I said, man, I have a little tough time. No, I should have called you yesterday. It was Sunday. I said, man, God, he passed away. I'm dealing with that. That's new. So man, it just really like, man, I don't know why I'm here. You know, I could have been gone too. I mean, God blessed me. I'm thankful, but I don't know, man. I would like to mention it. Called up Michael Delco, and you know, and that's my Carrot Bar sponsor. You know, it's helped me build wealth in this business and talk to Mike. I just need to talk to someone because I was really trying to shake it. And finally, Prince said, "Hey, I've had people asking me about this. No, because Mr. Bozeman put this awareness, and he said I'm looking for people." And in his mind, well, my God, you know, I got a very good friend that's deal with this. No, I don't need to find experts or doctors. Heck, I know him. And so when he said that, I still didn't move. Matter of fact, I fought him this morning. I said, man, no, I don't want nobody saying any comments over me. And you know, I don't want anyone to say, oh, he's going to die or he's faking. I didn't want to take that criticism. And I called Mr. Delco, Michael. I said, Michael, man, I don't know how to deal with it. Michael gave me the answer and he said, well, Fitzgerald, I said, should I talk, Michael? Michael said, well, Fitzgerald, that's up to you. I can't make a decision. Smart answer, because he's not dealing with it. His dynasty not dealing with it. Then I talked to Mr. Joseph at McDonald's today. Mr. Joseph was a prostate cancer survivor. Okay. He told me about the radiation and he started talking to me. He's an elder, 87 years old. He outranks me by far. Said, Mr. Joseph, I'll be 56 in September. He said, man, you're just a baby. Well, to him, I am. He's an elder to me, so the only thing come to my mouth was, Mr. Joseph, yes, sir, no, sir. That's the way you talk to elders. You give them that respect. And I said, I have a friend that wants me to talk about this. Should I do it? He didn't say, it's up to you. All he said to me, man, absolutely. You can help people. That's what turned it around. Mm-hmm. So when God wants you to do something, he'll make it very, very plain to you. He'll put it in a stranger's mouth, you know, as far as with that. So Dynas, man, let's get out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, get your checkups. If you're dealing with it, you know, you're dealing with this or someone else don't like that, encourage them mentally. Get them out. Don't let them get in the funk. If they push you away, push back, still keep coming. You know, because, you know, be careful who you talk to. And Dynas would have told me this, and if any of my friends would have told me, especially the ones that are close to me, like Amir, and he's not going to do this. Just say he was like, oh, damn, Fitzgerald. Oh, man. Dude, it's the end. Our friendship would not be what it is today. I promise you that. I dang near would have cut it off. I know how I am. But because that comment would have came from someone who's extraordinary co-host, it would have ministered a deep darkness and a fear to me. I don't know if I would have came out of it. Sometimes you didn't know what to say. He didn't say anything. He cried right with me, you know. And then once I got calibrated, but he helped me, and he's been talking to me over the years. You need that, you know. You need that, you know. And so this is bigger than Carrot Bars. When I talk about Carrot Bars, I'm just trying to get a lifestyle where I can use my time, and you can use your time if you want. But if you don't have breath in your body, you don't have life. What business is it? You got all the gold in the world. You know, we're trying to get on a business of living. And life is meant to be enjoyed every single day. Stuff is going to happen to you. I'm not going to tell you to get over it. Help people to help you get over it. but don't just sit down and bury yourself and do like I did. Like, I don't want to talk to no one because I don't want to relive that. And you're not helping anyone else. Your testimony can probably free other people.
Right.
And so thank you. We appreciate it. We're back with Carrot Bars the next time. But Prince Amir and I need to start doing more subjects like this. That we're probably going to do it. Either his channel, search.
And with that being said, guys, Finding Ways to Win is Brother Fitzgerald Stevenson's channel. Make sure you guys go subscribe.
Find Ways to Win, and we appreciate it. Man, we did a video. Prince Amir did a video on my stream, Find Ways to Win, and it said the power of partnership in business.
Right.
No, forget business. The power of partnership. Man, you got to have someone to run with you. Don't necessarily have to be a spouse. Don't necessarily have to be a pastor. But it needs to be someone, that believes in you when you don't believe in yourself. It needs to be someone that can push you. It needs to be someone who knows how to gently nudge you, and who simply won't respect your desires to sit up in a hole and just crawl up there. You needed someone to come in there, man, get your end up. Get living, do what you're supposed to do. And you need someone who ain't afraid of you. You're not a bear. Thank God I got that with Prince Dinas Amir. Thank God I got that with Preston and Michael Stevens. Thank God I have that with Michael Delco, Jim Zigmund. Thank God I have that. Thank God, they just accept my excuses. Man, I can't talk to nobody. I can't do it. I'm a failure. I'm a curse. Dude, get your ass up. Get up there. Get up and do. You want to feel sorry for yourself, do it on someone else's dime, but don't do it around me. You need people like that in your life. You need people who are going to tell you the truth and people who are going to make it better than you. Dinas Amir, thank you for being a man like that to me.
No problem. One more time, Fitzgerald. Shout out your channel again.
The channel is Find, Find, Ways, Ways, 2, the number 2, Win, Win. I'm up there with my Alabama shirt on and everything, and we're going to talk we're going to talk a thing. I'll probably put a video together tonight about anything, but I wish we could figure out a way to share this on that channel, Dinas, because this is. What
I'll do for Cheryl, I'll download this and I'll send it to you. And you can upload it.
Yeah, and then I can upload it and everything. But you guys, you're a winner. Don't never let anybody take as Ty Betts would say, our senior founder for Carrot Bars. Don't never let nobody steal your dream. Don't ever let nobody steal your thing. And for those of you who are quick to lay your mouth on speaking about something you don't know what the heck you're talking about, shut up. You don't know what people are going through. You don't know what, but be an encourager. Now, if you want to be a critic, tell you what, move on top of the Himalayas by yourself and criticize the wind, the snow, and everything else. Just keep your mouth shut. Shut up. You don't know what people are doing. It costs you nothing to be nice to people. It costs you nothing to say an encouraging word. It costs you nothing to smile. You don't have to use harsh words. You don't have to do all that stuff. You don't have to do that. And if that's what you're about, stay away from me. Stay away from my friends. Because we're trying to get the best. All of us have suffered enough through whatever various things, whether it be breakup, whether it be miscarriages, whether it be infertility, whether it be all kinds of stuff. And you know how long I couldn't even stand to go to a church on Father's Day because I didn't have children. Couldn't even go to a church on Father's Day. Couldn't you know how tough it's been for me sometimes just to go in a park and look at a father playing with his child. You know how tough it is for me to see sometimes my family taking their children to school or picking them up. I don't have no clue what that is. It used to physically bother me until I was talking to a neighbor of mine, Mr. Dominique, right across the street from me. He has a little son that literally looks like Troy Polamalu of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Has all the hair. Well, Mr. Dominique is part black, part Cuban, and his wife is full Mexican. So these children they have are a beautiful blend. So the youngest little fella, loves Mr. Fitzgerald. Literally looks like Troy Polamalu. Has all the hair hanging out, okay, and all that stuff. And so I went in this and I was getting in that thing, man, I don't have any kids. And what he did to me, he said, like, Man, Fitzgerald, stop saying that. I love you. These kids love you. You got them. That snapped me out of everything, that I had been going through I had been going through that for 40 years. And when that man said that, it instantly woke me up. I said, yeah, I am blessed. I got kids calling me Mr. Fitzgerald, little Master Amir, Dynasty son. He loves me. You know, I got great nieces and nephews. In other words, I'm not incomplete because I don't have that. I can, as long as I focus on me, I'm very incomplete. But I can focus on building, I can focus on helping a child, or helping or giving mentorship to that, or maybe one day have my money in such a way with Carrot Bars or my other business venture, I can just go ahead and pay for scholarships for them. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about other people. And if you can get your mind on other people, you can make a difference. And I promise you, as you water other people and you do good for other people, God Almighty will personally guarantee that it comes right back to you. Not necessarily through them, but it will come back. You know, and it will come back. Get your mind right. Get your heart right. No, and get with the business of living. Take care of you first, because you can't take care of anybody else without that. God bless you, Prince Amir.
And for sure, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you go to dynastymir.com. But until next time, family, Dynasty Mir, search for Guru. Peace.